West Coast. And trade is certainly a big part of our focus. Developing strong relationships and new partnerships is still key to moving ahead with good trading opportunities and stimulating our economy. It's because of great organizations like the African Chamber of Commerce in the Pacific Northwest, now in your 11th year, that offers some promise despite these uncertain times. And we work with a number of different organizations around the state that reach out beyond Washington State to the rest of the world to try to make connections for us. I see a lot of hope in these troubled economic times, especially for doing business with Africa and African nations in regions both prosperous and emerging. I see hope for Washington to continue our quest for finding new markets and for many goods and services in places around the world. And I've often said we need to be global in our view from Washington State, that every place needs to be looked at and every opportunity needs to be examined. And there's some things that give us reason to look more closely at Africa. The establishment of the 26-country African Free Trade Zone last October, another promising development for your organization, providing both unity and opportunity for those countries and for their trading partners around the world. And one of the things that is kind of exciting is actually our new president, Barack Obama, being the first African-American president, the son of a Kenyan. He is drawing new attention to the continent of Africa. And can you imagine the throngs in his father's village of Kogelo, if I pronounce that right, Kogelo? If you were to go there as president of the United States, the global media attention that would create, the celebration would probably be pretty deafening in that area. This possible new attention on the African continent over the next 4 years will no doubt serve as a springboard for new and stronger ties with our friends. I really believe that is going to, whether he goes or not, is going to elevate Africa in the minds of Americans. And that can really help in creating linkages and opportunities between everywhere in the United States and African nations. And we'll benefit, we definitely will benefit from that. We are the evergreen state, but we are also the trade state, because our livelihood depends so much on trade, depending on who you talk to, whether it's 1 in every 3, 1 in every 4, 1 in every 5 jobs in the state of Washington are somehow related to trade. That makes it extremely important to us. We continue to interface with Africa in a number of ways, both from the standpoint of investment dollars and culture and humanity. Largest ever, I don't know, did you mention the exports at all? The largest area of exports from Washington to Africa are aerospace goods, making up more than 75% of our exports by dollar value over the past 3 years, followed by various Washington food and agricultural products comprising about 13% of exports, with industrial machinery, computers, electronics making up the majority of the remaining exports. So Washington state companies export machinery, chemicals, apparel, forest products, and foodstuffs to African nations. We're already doing business. More than 70 Washington companies import products from Africa today, and more than 100 Washington companies trade with African nations. So we're already there. Doesn't mean there can't be more. There always can. Washington State embraces Africa. In our state are numerous studios and galleries that specialize in African art, and African art is always so colorful and so beautiful. Tremendous addition for us. And since 1984, the city of Seattle has maintained a sister city relationship with Olympia, seaside city in Cameroon. It's the center of Cameroon's oil industry for that region. A number of Washington-based businesses, many represented by the people in this room, are finding ways to engage in trade with countries in Africa. And I'd like to congratulate you all for your respective parts in increasing exports to Africa by Washington State companies by 17%. That's a positive, obviously a positive thing. Your participation and representation of Washington companies in such events as the 2008 Zambia International Trade Fair and Ndola are terrific examples of bringing our business ties closer together. Your alliance with groups such as the United States Agency for International Development and the Global Technology Network are also contributing to these new opportunities. And beyond the dollar, charitable organizations like World Vision, with U.S. headquarters in Federal Way, and World Concern, which has its international headquarters in Seattle, continue to help developing countries in Africa. is helping the continent update its energy grid. Africa has a sixth of the world's population, but only generates 4% of the world's electricity. Most of that is in South Africa. And perhaps Africa can someday come closer to meeting its energy needs through the use of green technologies like wind and solar. And we have many experts to lend that in that area in the state of Washington. Washington is known for being a leader in technology, in agriculture, in green industries, in biodiesel, in wood, paper production, and of course in aerospace. But green technologies is something that we all should look at. We continue to offer resources of my office to facilitate business and government connections, and we're doing our small part to further Washington's investment in Africa and Africa's investment in Washington. I look forward to working with the consuls and the trade organizations and representing nations in Africa and how we both can explore and expand trade. In fact, in February, we are extremely pleased to be welcoming a large delegation from the House Assembly in Nigeria to Washington. And in April, we are honored to welcome two important officials again from Nigeria to our state and to attend the Washington Innovation Conference. These are both examples of how we can keep the lines of communication open and forge some great ties. Now, our ongoing challenge to maintain our place in the nation as a leader in international trade, not to mention to keep our companies in business and our people employed, continue to be identifying emerging markets and determining what goods and services are needed to fulfill the needs of those markets. In order to do that successfully, we need to educate ourselves about the